I am just so excited that I could not even wait to jump on. I should not be starting my podcast this way, but I think one of my hesitations to starting a podcast is just I'm an overthinker and like getting everything right and a script or dress right. I just know that in order for me to do this, I'm gonna just have to do this, which means you gonna see me the way you see me, when you see me, how you see me, and I'm gonna say whatever's gonna come out my mouth because otherwise, it's just not gonna work out. But anyway, I am just very excited because I've been wanting to do a podcast for like years, and it was before I even launched my law firm. And I just want to do one for women and about women empowerment and women in business, women who are struggling or juggling and struggling with motherhood and being a wife and being a business person. And so I always just found I've always had a passion for that space and just building womanhood, sisterhood. That's just been my thing on and off, nothing to do with this. And so I've started once or twice. I've always had these little like videos that I would post here and there, but I just never stick to it because again, I'm an overthinker and I wanted to get it right. So since I launched my law firm, I've been starting to do little videos more catered to the law and contracts and the importance of contracts and other elements of business that are needed. And even though I have a strong passion for it and I enjoy talking about it, sometimes it feels like I'm talking in circles or I'm repeating myself or I'm like beating a dead horse, as they say. So I was starting to try to say I would love to merge my discussions about law with my love of discussing things that are more relatable and dealing with women. And so it took me some time, and I had a couple of conversations, and I was able to find an interesting overlap just in general. And just to say what it has to do with is the fact that life is about contracts, right? And I know this sounds really, follow me here, but life is about contracts, right? And some of them are basic your car, buying a home, signing up for a gym. Like even the things we do day to day are contracts, which is when I do them as a lawyer, I do them for business entities, entertainers, and deals that have an exchange of services and or money. But even when it's not that, contracts are very much a part of our everyday. And the part that even became more interesting when I tried to find the overlap is contracts are even in your relationships, right? They're unspoken, they're not signed, but there's agreements, there's understandings, whether it's you and your mate or your husband, there's an understanding of what that marriage means or what that relationship means with friends. There's a particular expectation and understanding and meeting of the minds as to what your friendship will look like or how it'll remain healthy. So I just strongly believe in the concept of a contract and how it applies to every part of your life. So when I was able to find that tie in, I said that could be the basis for my podcast because I can discuss all things under my professional umbrella and personal umbrella, bring them together. Of course, there's things in the news, things that are happening with entertainment, and there's legal angles, and I'll cover that as well. But my real excitement is to be able to discuss everyday contracts, implied and otherwise, and obviously the importance of the real ones. And I'll have different topics at different times. But the real excitement was after all this time, I kept trying to figure out names, right? And I had one called the Jam Session. And Jam Session was because that's my initials. And if you see it in my office, my initials are JAM. So I have everything with me is like jam and don't judge me, but you know, the old school song Jam. Okay, I'm not going to do it. But there's a song called Jam. And then there's the reggae jam. So I'm always big on my initials being directly related to things that I feel passionate about as well. But when I started them and I was calling them jam sessions, and I still will use that, it just still wasn't giving me like, I like to be creative. I'm all about branding. I love branding. And so after some thought and some searching, the name that came up that I really liked was Clause and Effect. And I liked it, but I wasn't sure. And I sat on it and I was like, you know what? But I really do like it. And I tried to come up with an image, which I'm going to try to share here, of what it would look like, the cover. And I just got more and more excited. But the thing that I just did, sorry if you hear a little bit of noise. My daughter's walking around somewhere. Told you you're just going to get what you get when you get it, or it ain't going to get got. But I trademarked it. And I was like, once I did that, because you got to pay a little money for a trademark. That's like a whole thing. You got to go back and forth. You got to protect it. And I was just like, you know what? If I don't trademark it, I didn't want to trademark it because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I'm not sure if I'm going to, for the 30th time, say I'm going to do a podcast and don't. But if I don't trademark it, I'm not going to want to use it because I'm a lawyer and I know the smarts of trademarking something and protecting it before you start branding it. So I was torn. I was like, do I want to invest in this or do I want to wait till I start to do it to see if I'm going to do it? But I decided to pull the trigger and trademark it, which for me means now you got to do it, sweetie pie. Now you got to do it. So that's what I'm doing. This is my first. Give me 1 second, baby. I'm coming. Wait, what were you going to say? You sure? All right. So now here I am. And this is my first one. And I'm not doing a full one because this is literally like I'm 10, 15 minutes off of doing the trademark. And I was like, you know what? It's time to just do it. It's time to dive in. And I think a part of it is going to be, yes, sometimes I'm going to show up and I'm going to be dressed and I'm going to be doing something business related and I'm going to jump on and discuss something about it. And I don't know, I don't have it all figured out yet. That's the point. But what I do know is this is something that I really wanted to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it work, even if it's just something that I do because I enjoy it and I just want to do it. It's just another thing that I want to accomplish in this lifetime. When I say accomplish, I don't see it as an accomplishment. Matter of fact, it could be an accomplishment. But when I say accomplish, I don't want to mean it in the sense of, oh, this is a on the bucket list. Like I want to be a judge one day as well, which having a podcast could be a little tricky if I want to be a judge one day. But I trust that it'll all align. For me, I'm not that controversial of a person. But I say that to say, when I say that, I don't look at it as the same accomplishment. But what I do feel is though there's things I want to do in this lifetime, right? And I'm not going to be here forever. And the idea of saying I want to do a podcast and it just becoming like complicated to do or me overthinking it, it's no, I just want to do it. And even if that means in a year, I'm like, I tried it and it just didn't keep my interest or didn't give me the return on the investment that I was wanting, and I stopped, at least I could say I did it. So I do know for me, it's going to be a little unorthodox because I know when people do podcasts, there's a whole lot to it. And I'm going to try my best. When I have time, I'm going to be super creative. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to try to have guests. I'm going to do all of the things. But right now, I just want to get started and I just want to see how it goes and go from there. So I totally hope that you guys join me. I don't know how to do all the get subscribers and all of that, but if you are seeing this, please do subscribe. I think I'm putting this on YouTube. Yes. Please do subscribe, share it because I really want to enjoy this. And if you have any questions, anything you want to ask me, please do, which is probably why I should add that part. I am an attorney. I guess I'm just assuming I'm speaking to people who know me. I'm an attorney. I have been in the entertainment space for 25 years. I started my career at Hot 97, which is a radio station in New York, one of the biggest and the best. And I was there for pretty much end of my college career up until I started to go to law school. I authored some books, which are up on this bookshelf right here, fiction novels. And then I left law school or graduated from law school. I started my own practice, but then I went in-house to a corporation by the name of now Paramount Global. At the time, it was Viacom, which is the mother company to VH1, MTV, BET, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was there for years in their litigation department. And I still did contract work for some of my colleagues, is how I'd put it, and just word of mouth, so to speak. So I had my own practice, but it was very small and boutique. Basically wasn't even a full-blown, I wouldn't even call it a practice. I just did the legal work on the side because my 9 to 5 was was at the corporation. I stayed at that corporation for 13 years, but I always wanted to have my own practice. And going back to checking things off my goal list, I decided to finally launch the practice. I'm still in the early stages of launching it. I'm not going to lie. I have my days where I'm like, I think I'm going to go back in-house. But at the same time, like I just said with this, I need to know that I've given it my all and I pursued a dream and a goal of mine. And so far, so good, I will say. I never know. But I do know that one of the things that I was supposed to do in tandem with the law firm was come on and give information and brand myself and market the firm. And that's not the easiest thing to do when you're juggling the practice itself and being a mother and being a wife and being a this and a being a that. So I don't do it often enough. But here I am giving it a good faith effort. And so that's pretty much my background. It's contracts, it's entertainment, it's business, it's everything in my professional space is pretty much under that umbrella. It's going to be, oh, and I forget. And my newest area is real estate because I did relocate from New York to Atlanta. And now that I'm in Atlanta, real estate is all the rave, especially for attorneys, because you have to be an attorney here to do closings. Where in New York, you don't have to be, but here you do. So pretty much, I won't say every attorney, but so here it's recommended to do real estate as well. And so I got licensed here after being in Georgia for about 2 years, just for the purpose of doing real estate law. And so I also do closings as well. So my spaces are, which again is contracts, because real estate is just closing, which real estate closings are just documents and contracts that need to be signed. So it's all under the same umbrella. So that's pretty much my area of expertise. And in my personal life, I'm a mom and a wife and a whole lot of other things. Friend, cousin, sister, daughter, all of those things. So I'm here. I'm excited. Again, send any questions that you may have. I really hope that I stick to this, but I will be honest, in order for me to stick to this, I'm going to need interaction and for this to be a fun thing. So by all means, please comment, please share, please, all of the things. So yeah, so the name of the podcast is Clause and Effect. If you don't know what that means, a clause in a contract is pretty much a section that is dedicated to a particular term. So you may have your exit clause, which is how you're going to get out of the contract. You may have your payment terms in a particular clause. So that's what a clause is. But the play on words is cause and effect, which is every cause has an effect, right? So it's a play on words, but it fits together because again, I do believe that every clause in a contract has an effect, and every cause. I don't make it started. I'm gonna get too cheesy while this name excites me. But that's it. So hopefully you subscribe and follow. I'm going to try my best to figure this out after I'm done recording and send this and share it. So please join me. Bye.